think that's good. So we'll make it a little straighter. Yeah. Now let's go to YouTube. Nope, that's not going to work. It needs to come down a little bit. Perfect. And we are live. We are live. Let's take the sound off. My laptop. And hey, Beshet. Hi, Tia. Hi, Beshet. Thank you for being here. I need you guys. Roots, Shoots, and Garden Boots. Good evening. I love your name. I love, love, love your name. I got a glare. It's a glare from all these plants. I'll let my moderator speak to everybody while I get some of my seedlings down. Let's see. I'll get these two. Ooh, it smells so good. I think I took all the okra out to the greenhouse. What's that here? Okay. Okay, where did I leave off at? True love and light, joy. Thank you for coming in. Chris Cote, thank you. Mary Campbell. Love Ladies Gardening Projects and more. Erica Jones. Deborah White. Hey, Brenda Allen. Rukia Collins, pretty name from Arkansas. Rukia. Deb M is in the house. White Davy Gardening and Worm Farm. You have a worm farm. Oh, that's cool. I just got some worm castings in today. Martha Allen, thank you. Sandy Hamilton, 1968. Cynthia, 1968. Thank you for being here. Eric is here. Tai Shi, Sewing Balance is in the house. Lazy Liz Life, how you doing? And Dan is in the house, Permaculture Food Forest. GT Junior grows it. GT Junior grows it. How you doing? From Alaska. Thank you so much. Gardener 99 is in the house. Oh, and I said Rukia's name correctly. Thank you. Dominique S. Okay, guys, just come on in. I am so glad you're here. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. Okay. Now, I don't want to dwell on negativity. And if you are not new to my channel, you know it got down to 3 degrees with a 26-hour plus. I stopped counting after 26 hours. 14-hour power outage one day, 12-hour power outage the next day with some 45-minute spurts on and off. But I'll just round it off to say 26 hours. Because the power outage for a short period of time didn't affect me really. Just worked on your nerves. But the long periods of the power outage really devastated everything, practically everything in my greenhouse. So like I said, hi Brownlee, hey Peanut. I'm not, and if I missed anybody, thank you for being here. I'm not one who dwells on negative energy. In fact, energy attracts energy. And I am attracted to people like Tia, my moderator, like Beshjet, like Peanut, like Dan's Permaculture Food Forest, and I'm not calling everybody's name out. Myra McCain, who I've had conversations through email but never met, but the energy is just so off the chain that I'm attracted to that. So I'm not going to dwell on the greenhouse and negativity because I know God blessed me to get it once, he'll bless me again. So, but I want to bring to your attention that my deadline every year is to have all of my seedlings out in the greenhouse by March the 1st. Today is March the 1st, and these seedlings, and there's 3 rows actually. You can see this one. No, you can't see the top one. You can see my hand. You can't see it, but it's full. And then I have 2 more rows, and they're going to go out on Thursday, I think, because we're going to have one day. At first, the forecast was predicted that it would be 32 degrees, but now they're saying 34, which would not kill anything in the greenhouse that's still surviving, but I don't want them to go into shock and get a weakened state. So I lost my whole row of pepper plants. And I lost that 5-year-old pepper plant and 2-year-old pepper plant. But UT, and I call him and his wife Angel and their boy Kiddo, I call them the connoisseurs of pepper plants and tomatoes because, baby, trust me, they have tried so many of them. I watched one of their videos today and they were showing, it might have been 7 or I might be wrong, but they were showing all these dwarf varieties of seeds for tomatoes that they're starting. And just because the plant is a dwarf, most of them are hybrids, and they have been cross-pollinated to produce a larger size fruit. And I just found that very interesting because I've tried about 3 varieties. Off of the top of my head, I could tell you that I've tried Tiny Tim's, Red Robin. There's another one that I tried. I can't think of the names right now. But the plants were dwarf and the tomatoes were small. But UT was saying that they're going to have some average sized tomatoes. So that's interesting. And that would be a wonderful opportunity for young people like my grandchildren to have their own little pot, because most of those dwarf tomatoes don't require, let's say, a 5-gallon container or larger like we do with most of our normal size and interterminate tomatoes. And if you're new to gardening, you have interterminate tomatoes and then you have determinate. And determinate means that most of them will bloom and grow and ripen around the same time. An interdeterminate is the opposite. You can have them producing tomatoes throughout the season, providing the temperature does not get above, let's say, 88, 90 degrees. Now, if you have microclimates in your yard, like I do, and let me explain the terminology microclimates, when you have the ability to cut out or block out some of the sun and wind because of structures or shade cloths, then you might be able to grow them a little bit longer. 3 years ago, I stopped cloning, and I might be off a little bit, guys. I'm 66, okay? But I think it was approximately 3 years ago, I stopped cloning my branches of my spring tomatoes. And by the way, I harvest all of them by the first week in June. Because down here in Zone 8A, Mesquite, Texas, North Texas area, Dallas County, it gets too hot and the tomatoes won't flower anymore. And you can baby them and shade them and struggle with them and prune them, but I don't. About 3 years ago, I stopped cloning them, but you can't go back if you live in a zone below 8B and below. You can go back and check those old videos out with in my playlist for tomatoes and peppers, and you will see how I did it. It's very easy to do. But because I have the ability to grow from seed, I stopped cloning the tomatoes and then I start trying different varieties in the fall. Okay? Yeah, so I try to go 4 or 5 different types of tomatoes, and then I rotate them. And I try to grow heirloom tomatoes, except for 2. I've mentioned it before. 1 is Celebrity, and 2 is Early Girl. They're hybrids. I don't save those seeds. And the reason why I grow the Early Girl and the Celebrity is because they have been bred to withstand our heat where I live, and they're disease resistant. Now let me try to find one. This is GW. Oh, I should take sorry, bitch, because I don't know why I picked that one up. Oh, I hope I didn't come all out to the... I'm almost positive this is Celebrity. I hope I didn't take them all out to the greenhouse. But, and let me tell you, if you haven't grown food by seed, just waving this, just shaking it a little bit, really stirs up the scent. And that's how insects that like certain veggies and fruit, because tomatoes are fruits, they are attracted to the scent. So just waving this, I can really smell the strong strength of a tomato plant. Now, let me just show you this right in here. You see this branch in between these 2 big branches? These are called suckers. And what you can do is if you've got fingernails, just pinch them off. Okay, because you don't want your tomatoes to be so heavy and so crowded. And the stem of this tomato is going to get much stronger. But I like to pinch off my suckers, especially when the tomatoes are small. And I told you what that was. Now, these are going out, what did I say, Thursday? Because we're going to have one night of 34. And so I don't want to put any stress on him. This is the mortgage lifter. There are 2 in this container. The first few leaves, you're going to take them off because they're going to be buried when I pop this again. Actually, I got enough room in this pot to just put some more potting soil around it. Okay? And hold your questions, guys, because I will definitely, you all know me, I'm going to get your questions. Okay? And this one is a Brandy Wine. And it's kind of weird because when the leaves are small, I lifted that up just to make sure because the green, or pardon me, the white tomato, the giant white tomato, which is a green tomato, have these little burgundy tinge to the leaves. Can you see that? You kind of like know what stuff it is after you've grown it for a while. But sometimes you do have to refresh your memory because I don't grow the same tomatoes 2 seasons, well, 2 years in a row. Very unlikely, except for the celebrity and the early girl. And another thing I want to say is, I was going to say, oh, most of your tomato plants are self-pollinating, but if pollinators come into the greenhouse this time of year, it'll expedite them, those flowers producing fruit. But if you keep a little fan on them or just shake them a little bit. Now, I've heard people say they spank them and all that. I don't do all that. I might just lightly, let me go this way so you can see it. Might thump it a little bit. But basically, I either blow on it or shake it a little bit. Another thing I want to tell you is if you have tomato plants and you're not getting any blooms, you have put too much nitrogen. And the number one culprit that I find people emailing me is fish emulsion. Okay? So hold back on your fish emulsion once your tomato plants get about this size. Okay? Because they will start blooming. Another thing is I don't allow my first few blooms to stay on. I pinch them off until that plant is strong enough because I want them to concentrate on building a strong root system. And I know when you're a new gardener, it's exciting and you want to just go ahead on and see what it'll do. And that's okay if you want to do that with one plant or two. But the majority of your plants pinch those blooms off unless it is a dwarf determinate tomato. Okay? Any questions on what I've gone over so far? Thank you, Robin Island Duncan. Hey, Grow Family Network. Good to see you. Container Crops, how you doing? And Unicorn Lady is in the house. 2% is here. Carmen. Crystal, that's my sweet girlfriend. Crystal Pets and Plants. What did I watch of you today? One of your plants was eating on something. I can't remember right now. Got a lot of stuff going on my head. Sandy Hamilton, 1968. Atlanta, Georgia. Elena Jordan. And Gardening with Bernie. And I think I spoke to everybody else. Oh, no. Angela Klinksdale is here. Okay, so, and Divine Intentions. Okay, so now that my plants are getting a certain size, and by the way, they were in 6-packs, and then I potted them up to a little cup like that, and from there, they went to here, and from here, they go to here, and they'll stay in this size container until it's time for them to go in the ground. Another thing I want to tell you about my tomato plants is this. I don't dig a hole and put my tomato plant in. I dig down about 12 inches and about twice the diameter of this size pot. And then when I plant them, I don't plant them and say this is the hole and you plant them in here. I turn my plants on the side, okay? That way they have room to shoot out every way. Just look at my playlist for tomatoes and peppers and just look at my results because it does work. And I don't know where I learned that from or who I got it from, but I've been doing that for years. Now, getting back to UT and Angel and Kiddo, Because I lost all those pepper plants, it was just right on time when they sent me. And I showed you all the seeds that they sent me last week. And I'm going to be sharing some of those seeds with you. And I can see right now, I just planted these the other day. And I'm going to just move a little soil around it. Can y'all see that little spot right there? That's a pepper seed that has germinated. Now, once I get one seed out of the container, I take them out of the darkness and I put them under the light. You can see that right there where these shop lights are. No, I don't use expensive lights. Nothing wrong with them. This works for me. And if I'm trying to get something to fruit, then I will use a full spectrum light. Can you all see that? It doesn't show up really well on camera, but it's like a violet and red type of full spectrum lights. Okay, so I'm gonna go and see who I missed. Thank you, Divine Intentions. I started these the first week in January, and I moved, in my last video, I moved about 90% of my seedlings to the greenhouse because we've had a couple cloudy days. And so they're acclimating to the greenhouse. But once we have full sun, like it's going to be in the next few days, I think the rain is over, then I will put up in the ceiling or on top of the greenhouse a 90% shade cloth when I bring all the rest of these seedlings out, okay? That way they won't go into shock. And I will also put a larger, it's over here, you can't see it, a larger circulating fan to start circulating all throughout the greenhouse. So that's what I'm going to be doing the month of March, is taking care of my seedlings and cleaning up that greenhouse. Okay? Now I'm going to show you some more plants. And did I show you this one? Oh, I said I know what it is. Remember I showed you the BW, Brandy Wine? This is a GW. And remember I told you that the leaves can kind of fool you because that has a purple tinge to it. But this tomato is going to be huge and it's going to be green. Look at that root system. So when I take these out to the greenhouse on Thursday morning, this will go, I probably will skip this size pot and I'll probably put it in a pot like this because the root system is too vigorous. It will outgrow this pot really fast. Look at that. And you can look all over there. Now, these, see all those roots? Roots will grow all above anything that you see that's fibrous. Roots will grow all the way here. Now, I know I'm getting ready to shock some of you what I'm getting ready to do. When I pop this up, and I'll do it on a video, this will go into the compost, and I'm going to plant this in a larger planter, and I'll bury it in soil up to here. Because all these little, I'm going to go closer, you can see those little fibrous roots. They are, see them? I can see them. Especially when I put it up against my shirt, my jacket. See those? They are going to be real thick and strong. Okay? Now, those of you that are growing the Texas Star Hibiscus, I just want you to see, when I say put a fan on it, see how erect it's up? And it's getting taller and taller, and then you start seeing little leaves. Texas Star Hibiscus. Now, I showed you a lot of little bitty ones last week. Look how big they're getting. They grow fast. You know why? Because when I potted them up, I gave them some fermented comfrey tea. Okay? All of my plants, I gave a little comfrey tea that I make from the Russian Blocking 14 comfrey. Okay? Now, I'm going to give all of them a little fermented tea the month of March. Comfrey fermented tea. But my tomato plants will get a little garden lime. Okay, anybody tell me why I'm going to add a little garden lime to the pots for my tomato plants? I've said it a few. Robbie Allen Duncan said she missed a few names of those tomatoes in Zone AA. I will put them in the comments. I'll stay up tonight and put them in the comments. Who's got the answer? Why I am going to add a little garden lime. Denise Backyard Garden, they like the acidity. Myra McLean likes the acidity, and Helen, and somebody said bring the pH down. All of you are right. Okay, hold tight. I'm going to write this down. Nobody else answered. You are the people that will get the seeds. The winners of the seeds this week. Helena, Helena, Tyler. Best yet, or Tia, can you put my email address up? Myra. And I owe you from last week, Myra. I'll just put both of yours in the same envelope. I'm still catching up with my company stuff since the freeze. But I'm all caught up now. So I'll start sending out the seed to the winners. And I'm going to take, I hate to do this, but I'm going to have to stop because people are still answering. So I'm going to take Vicki Owens. And the last one is going to be White Davy Gardening and Worm Farm. Because Vicki said for great blooms, and you can't get any blooms without having some calcium and the right acidity, the right pH. And then I'm going to take White Davy Gardening. I'll take her because she went into detail with the theory, and also it prevents blossom end rot. Very good, White Davy. So the ladies are going to put up my email address, and I need you all to email me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. Helena Tyler, Myra McCain, Denise Backyard Gardening, I think, and Vicki what? Vicki Owens. Okay, so now don't you all leave because they won the seeds, but because I still might offer something else. Okay? All right. I was only going to take the first 2, but they came in so quickly, I took those as well. Now, what you see on your screen may not be what I see on my screen because I'm running in real time. If you came in late, and most times when you come in late for a live, you have to watch a little short commercial, then you may think you got it before the other people, but it won't be that way on my screen. So that's how I have to take it. Okay, let's get a little fan action going. Now, okay. Okay, now I'm getting ready to add a comment because several people have already seen my post on the community board about the 2 classes that I'm teaching about canning for a library in New York. I believe it's the 18th and the 25th of March. I was contracted to do that class. Hi, Byron. To do that class, wow, before Thanksgiving, I think it was, I committed to do that. I consider it an honor. And that class is free. So, paste. So, if you, they had some slots still open. If you still want to try to get into that class, I think YouTube will allow me to put this link there. And once you link on one, you can just go to their class schedule and you can get the rest of them. And the lady that asked me the question about the tomatoes, I promise you, if I don't do it tonight, I will definitely list in the description box up under the title and the episode of the video all of the tomatoes that I'm growing. It just depends on, how much I can get done tonight. Because y'all know I be doing my other company stuff too. Okay, you are all welcome. And I appreciate Best Yet asking you all. Somebody said your links don't work, Lady Cheryl. The links don't work that I just put in here, or the links to the community post. Hey, new art gardener. Okay, well, don't worry about it. What I'll have Best Yet or Tia to do is to put the link, put the email address. Just email me, and in the subject line, just say, I need the links for the canning class. And I'll do that tomorrow. Right, the links in the community post, I don't think they ever work in a community post. I may be wrong, unless it's a YouTube link. Because when I remind you about having my Monday night chat, I always put that link in there, and that link will work. So I'm not really sure what the situation is with that. But Best Yet is going to put a link to my email, and the email that I want you to use is, hey, Yankee Sister, LadyCherylsNaturalProducts at gmail.com. Okay? LadyCherylsNaturalProducts at gmail.com. Hey, Chris White. Nice to see you. Thank you so much. Hey, Hoyt. Good to see you. Okay, so now we went over the tomatoes. And you guys know that I save eggshells, banana peels, and use coffee grounds, and I make up a natural fertilizer with it. And I'll be giving that to my tomatoes and my peppers. Now, I only have 2 tomato plants so far, except for that little seedling that I just showed you. Because I had so many peppers in the greenhouse, I didn't think I needed them. So I just planted 2 or 4 seeds. And this is the Horizon Orange pepper. Bria loves this pepper. And over the next few weeks, I'm going to show you how I top off my peppers. But I want it to get a little bit bigger. Actually, yeah, I'll show you next week. Okay, so I only have 2 of them. Isn't it amazing they're both planted on the same day, same soil, same sunlight, with artificial light, and then one is smaller than the other? It's weird. But that's what's so fascinating about this. No 2 seeds are the same. The same. And I have a lot of, see how big the marigolds are getting? My French and my petite marigolds, and you guys know why I grow these. It's an excellent companion plant to keep hornworms distracted, because just like the tomatoes, you can smell the marigolds too. But if you have a lot of white flies in your area, know this: marigolds will trap white flies. They hide in there, and that's cool because they're just an annual, and you're gonna plant them again next year anyway. Now, a couple of these are my Unts. This is a Texas Red Star Hibiscus, and I've got one white one, and I think this one might be my Aunt's. Yeah, Aunt Lois. And I told you she had cold hardy hibiscus, because you have tropical and then you have cold hardy. Texas Star Hibiscus is cold hardy. It'll come back. It's usually around May. They require a lot of warmth. And I think that's why some of you have difficulty with your seedlings. It may not be in a spot that's warm enough. But a lot of people's seeds have germinated because they email me a picture, and they also are in my Facebook group, which is the same name as my YouTube channel, Lady Cheryl's Organic Food, Forests, and Products. And then they post them in there, okay? So this one is my aunt, and I told you I grew it before because she passed away in 2019. And I grew the seeds that next year, 2020. And when I went on vacation, they got infested with spider mites. So I'm throwing the whole thing away, wash the container out in bleach, put all new soil in it, because I really, really want to keep her memory alive. Another plant that grows very well and is very pungent is basil. It just smells so good, guys. Some people believe that basil makes your tomatoes sweeter. So around my tomato plants, I always plant basil and I plant marigolds. Okay, so that link wasn't working. I think somebody, whoever that was that gave me the super chat, I want you to know that I appreciate you. Somebody said jalapenos didn't sprout. They take a little while. Pepper plants, pepper seeds take a little while. Okay? Don't give up. Plant some more. Put it on top of your refrigerator or on your dryer when you're drying some clothes. They need a little heat. Tiny Texas Garden, I see Crystal is speaking to you. I want to speak to you as well. Okay, Best Yet has the tomato and pepper playlist. Did anybody put my email address up? Okay, I'm gonna start getting some questions, but I'm gonna go back up, Erica. I'll just answer yours right now. I got all of my shade cloths from either Amazon or eBay. So I have 90% shade cloth, 60% shade cloth, and 50% shade cloth. And I haven't bought any shade cloth in years. I just use the same stuff over and over. Okay? Okay, now I'm going back up. And I'm going back up so I can see if there were any questions in the cap. And that was Yankee Sister for the donation. I appreciate it because I send those seeds off to everybody. I send them in a bubble envelope with a sticker, from the post office. And none of them are less than $4 when I send your seeds. And so that's what I do with my contributions. I pass it back on to you all. Except for the ones I got last week from the sweet people that was helping me build up my greenhouse. I'm gonna take that money, and you don't get that money from YouTube until the following month. But I'm gonna invest in some more fruit trees with that money. Okay. Hey Rob, I saw you in there earlier. Oh, Carmen said all of her seedlings died, and she's starting over again. Never give up, sweetie. Never give up. It has happened to many of us. Okay. Okay, so I think I got all the questions. I'm going to go back and get the questions. Remember to put them in all caps, as my moderators have been telling you. Okay. Lazy Liz. Okay, that's not a question. You love how we double the cups. You're going to try that. Yeah, that's cool because you keep it down an infestation of gnats. Now, when I use the Jiffy Seed starting mix, I pour boiling hot water. I've got a video on it. Check out the seed starting mix. And that will sanitize, not sterilize, but sanitize and kill fungus, gnats, or eggs that may be in there. But once I pop them up, there's no nutrition in the Jiffy Seed starting mix. It has cocoa coir, it has vermiculite and perlite to keep moisture, to help your seeds germinate. And we do that, and we use that so we won't be using soil that has fungus and other stuff that we don't want. But once I pop them up to the second cup, then I use just regular potting mix. And I don't use organic potting mix. I tell everybody, after I do my seedlings, whatever I put in my garden after that point is organic. So if you get a start from a store, you don't know if it's organic or what they've been feeding it. But you can control what you use if you decide to be an organic gardener. I'm not saying that you have to be. I'm not saying one is better than the other. But if you've been in the game as far as gardening for a while, you'll know that some of the chemicals that they put into these fertilizers, yes, it may make your plants get big, but it may be depleting your soil of valuable nutrients. So that's why I don't use it anymore. Okay? So what I do with this cup is I put the water here. And of course, I put little holes right here, and you can see this. See, if I push on that, you can see my hand is damp. It will wick its water all the way up. And then that keeps the surface kind of dry so that if there were fungus gnats in the potting mix that I use, it'll keep them down. Because the fungus gnats like to hang around damp, dark, wet soil. Okay? All right. Let's show you some more. This is the first year that I started my okra plants this soon. And I'm going to tell you all something. I hope you all can see this. This is funny, funny, funny. I thought this is the Clemson spineless okra. I'm going to see if I get up close and if you can see the little white little balls. Can y'all see that? Can you see them little bitty balls on the... Man, can you see it? I thought those were aphids. When I first started years ago, when I first started growing okra from seed, and I was just blasting it with water and blasting it with water. And then I started doing some research. I want to know, how in the heck did the aphids get on my okra? And they were in Jiffy Seed starting mix, and I put boiling water and neem oil in it. And then I read that those are just like little sweat balls. And they may call them something else too, but they are not aphid eggs. So if you see that on yours, take it from me. It'll go away. Don't even worry about it. Okay? But in where I live in 8A, we don't plant our okra until May. So these are going to have to go into some big pots. Now sometimes I'll plant two in there. See how these were planted on the same day? I just take the weakest link out. I don't try to disrupt it, because if you do your research and you'll know I'm telling you the truth. Okra is finicky. In fact, most people, most gardeners, master gardeners, tell you to just plant it by seed, because if you disrupt the root so much, too much, same thing, it won't make it. So that's why I don't try to separate the okra. I wait until I see which one is going to be the best one, then I pinch it off. I don't pull it out. And I know you know why I don't pull it out, so we don't disrupt the roots. Very good. Here's some lettuce. I got about 3 or 4 of these out in the greenhouse. And I just want to show you an update on those tiny, tiny leaves. You see them? They look kind of lime green now. They really grew from last Monday night to this Monday night. And also I want to tell you that I will have blooms on the sunflowers before April. See how big they are and how strong. This is the strongest plant that I have. Tomatoes will be, but right now this is strong. Okay? And it looks like it's getting ready to start doing something in there. I've had them to bloom in March. And that's a little gnat. And that little gnat comes in when you start opening up potting mix, when you start potting up. And then that's why I put my little yellow stickies. You can see right over here. You see that little yellow right here? I was touching gnats. Because you don't want to put boiling water and neem oil into your your potting mix. You can use neem oil if you want to. But you don't want to pour boiling water into the potting mix, because you got mycorrhizal fungi in there with those wood chips. You also have worm castings, little worm eggs. So you don't want to sanitize that. Okay? You don't even want to bake it. I did that a couple times when I didn't know no better. Then I started buying mycorrhizal fungi. Mycos is what I buy off of Amazon and eBay. And then I started buying worm castings. And somebody in here have a worm ranch. That's cool. I would love to purchase the juice that the worms make, because that's even more potent than worm tea or the worm castings. So I save a lot of money growing things by seed so that I can splurge on things like fruit trees and vines and plants, and my soil amendments. And by the way, if you're new to my channel, some merchants sell the same thing, maybe a slight price difference on several sites: eBay, Etsy, Amazon, greenhousemegastore.com. How do you know that, Lady Cheryl? And I know because I've ordered from Amazon and it came from greenhousemegastore.com. I've ordered from eBay and it came in Amazon package and tracking. So they have third, what do you call them? Oh, it just escapes me, my memory. Third party sellers on all of these platforms, and you can't blame them because they're just trying to reach the customers. Okay. Another thing I want to tell you is I've got a lot of emails. When I say a lot, I mean like 5 or 10. I don't want to sound facetious like I'm getting hundreds of emails because I'm not. I do about the products though, but I've got a lot of emails about people seeing an abundance of canning and garden supplies in stores that didn't carry them before. Target has canning supplies when they didn't have them before in some areas. Okay, I got an email about that today. I thought that was just amazing. Now, I want to also talk about these seeds that I got in. I ordered them from where did I order these seeds from? They're non-GMO, 100% pure. Oh, Eden Brothers. Eden Brothers. I was looking up Dahlia tubers, and I stumbled across their site. I signed up for the email, and then they sent me an email saying they had free shipping. I think it's still on if y'all want to go check that out. And can you all believe I gave away all my eggplant seeds? And I thought I had a package or two, and I was just sending them to you guys that won questions or whatever. And I looked around, couldn't find no eggplant. And I love Black Beauty. And because they have free shipping, this just jumped into my shopping cart. And it's because I love it. And Baker Creek was out of Bloomsdale long-standing spinach. So I'm going to plant these too. But I'm going to direct sow them. I might plant a few plants in some potting mix, Jiffy starting mix. But I'm going to direct sow. Because eggplants, they don't do well until it gets really, really hot. There's going to be a time when I harvest all of my tomatoes by the second week of June that I won't be growing anything but peppers, sweet potatoes, eggplants, of course, fruit. Yeah, that's it. Because that's the only thing you don't have to worry about shading it down here in Texas when it's 115, 110, 105. Those grow very well in the heat. Okay, do I have another question? I stopped at the question, where do you buy your shade cloths? And I told you, Amazon, eBay, and Texas Warehouse Drugs. Texas Warehouse Drugs, Lord Jesus. Greenhouse Megastore. Okay, wow, I plant my sunflowers like that and they turn sideways. I was thinking like you, Lady Cheryl. Sunflowers like that. I've never planted a sunflower sideways. They just get bigger and bigger and bigger and stronger. But you try planting yours like that. Okay, Brenda. And if that works for you, go for it. Okay. Carmen said that she has to start again. We all have done that. Don't worry about it. Thank you, So Imbalanced. That's what I'm here for. I'm glad you love it and that you're learning something. Okay, so let's go down to the next question. Yes, you can use burlap to cover your greenhouse, but burlap is more for keeping your plants cooler during the freeze. And burlap, it used to be the cheapest thing that you could buy. Crocker sack, flour will come in it. And now you go to the fabric store, it's expensive because people are doing burlap in the homes with ribbons and covering up mason jars and making pillows and frame. I'm naming all the stuff in my daughter's house, and she is one good decorator. But so we went looking for burlap, and you can't get it like $1 a yard like you used to. So yes, you can use burlap, but I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend using uh, shade cloth, unless you put it on when you're moving your stuff to the greenhouse or something, and you want to shade out almost all of it. Yeah, I would do that in the greenhouse. Okay. Sewing Balance says she ordered some society garlic. Sweetheart, I lost all of mine. You know, it was standing up like this, and after that 3 degrees outside, they're all laying flat. They're yellow and white. Couple of them I saw a little bit of green. I'm not going to touch them for a couple of more weeks. And if I do anything, I'll just cut them back and pray that they come back. Because garlic can stay in the ground, for a whole year. But I don't know about society garlic. So that's really good. And if you buy society garlic, don't let anybody convince you to get seeds. You have to get the bulb because society garlic does not grow from a seed, like turmeric and ginger and come on, y'all. What else? Comfrey, tuber or root growing stuff. Because I got sucked into that, bought some society garlic seeds, and it wasn't right. That was years ago before I knew any better. Oh, the worm farm lady is in Canada. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's see who's next. Don't forget, email me, and I will give you the link to the class that's coming from the library in New York. It's going to be a Zoom class. I charge $30 for a 2-hour class. So you're going to be able to get it free. I started off doing them for free, and then I started charging because people would book the time, and then they wouldn't show up. Now, my time is important. Some people think that your time is not valuable. So when I put a price on it, those people who signed up and paid through PayPal or my Cash App, they showed up. And by the way, I want you to know that some people got so much out of those free classes that they sent me more than what I charged for the class later. Because an intelligent person knows everything is not going to be free. And some people don't value free things. So as long as I'm going to have this free class, sign up, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, I don't want to keep repeating myself. They didn't take it serious. Yeah, Lazy Liz, I'm praying that they come back because it took me I started growing society garlic the year that I retired. I've been retired for 6 years. When I say retired, I mean semi-retired because I still do hair. I have a home salon and I was still selling products. So, but it took me a long time because I got a cute little video on there with Brian, my little grandson, I think at the time was 7, was propagating, cutting the garlic bulbs, splitting the cloves, and we grew a lot. I only bought 3 cloves from eBay, and I bought 3 in little pots for $1 each at Lowe's that was at the clearance section. You know, you go to the back of the store of most of the Lowe's, and they have the clearance plants. And those are the plants that I say that are on life support, and they just need a little tender loving care. And out of all of those 6, I must have had 100 that I multiplied. So I'm hoping that they come back. Okay, hi David, Corey. How are you doing? Okay, now somebody is saying something about my onion leaves in the garden are leaning over. Do I clip the leaves where the leaves been? I would wait a while, Lisa. Let them grow up some. So you have a line of demarcation. This is all green here, and then everything above there, you can snip them off if you want to. I would wait a couple of weeks, like I'm doing with my society garlic. Okay? Because they're already in shock, and you don't want to start pruning on them and take them more into shock. Okay? So let them get a while to adjust. But me, I was so disgusted. I should have did that to my lemon trees, but I know a couple of them are dead. And I went out there and I just made a video with Brian and Bria, my grand angels, my daughter's children. And I just started pruning them. Anything that looked dead, I just started pruning them. I mean, because I was just really disgusted. But I was trying to keep a brave face. Thank you, Best Yet. There goes my email address, guys. Copy it. Let's see if you can copy off it. Yeah, you can copy. I'm copying it. Let me see. Yeah, you can copy my email address. And if you can't, you can always screenshot it. So yes, I would wait, David, Corey, and wait until those onions, recover. And the same thing with potatoes. In zone 8A, North Texas, we can plant our onions in January, I think it is. I might be wrong, but I know definitely it's Valentine's Day for potatoes, white potatoes. So there have been many times that we've had a freeze. Because I remember being nervous about this. When we got a freeze in March or the 1st of April, some people call it the Easter snap. And those potatoes would freeze all the way back, the leaves, shrivel up and die. But we still got a good harvest because the roots don't die. And the seed potato doesn't die. Sunflowers may be drooping because it's not warm enough. Very good observation. And that's why I keep my little thermometer. It's on the dining room table, and I have one by my bedside that I know what the temperature is at all times in the greenhouse and on my seedlings. And that's why I'm going to wait and take all of this stuff out there after that 34-degree temperature. Because if the circuit blow or we have another power outage, which I doubt, but if we do, I won't lose all of my seedlings. The majority of them will be here. But I have the, I did the video, showed you all the clay pot with the little candle and the bricks. I set up 2 of them in the greenhouse, and I have 2 small heaters. So the electricity goes out, then I'll have that backup from here on out. Okay? Yes, thank you, Tiny Texas Garden. I thought I was right. Sometimes when I'm doing a live, I have so many things going around in my head, I would confuse. I might say fork for spoon, or I may say March for May. But I think the majority of you all understand that when you get a little bit older, you have a tendency to do that. It's just a senior moment. It doesn't mean that you're going senile or you have dementia or Alzheimer's. It just comes with age. And I've always been a person who can multitask, and I've always been very creative. Okay? So sometimes when I'm speaking, I'm thinking about already what I'm getting ready to say next. I know it's weird, but that's just how I am. My mind just spins. How many of you have ever gone to bed and you were tired and you just kept dreaming and dreaming and dreaming? You woke up and you were like out of breath. That's how I am. They used to take me to the doctor when I was young to try to figure out how can they make me sleep for more than 4 hours. I only sleep 4 hours at a time. Okay? That's how I knew the power was out. Because I woke up, I had been sleeping for about 4 hours, and I was cold. Okay? And then I realized after trying to cut the light on in the bathroom that we had the power outage. You can start onions in the fall. Yes, you can. Somebody said they got onions growing. Very good. It's cooler, not the same bugs out. Very good, Corey. Same thing with all your greens. Okay. We know what you mean. Thank you, Lazy Liz, because I'm telling you, and I understand what you mean with your name, Lazy Liz. That don't mean to say that you are physically lazy. What you're saying is you're trying to garden smarter and not harder. Am I right? I know I'm right about it. Because that's what happens when you become a senior citizen. That's why I got 12 grow boxes out there. With the horse and the wood, I got one down right now because I need it for the winter. I'm making everything high up now. My concrete block beds. They have two of the blocks stacked up, so I don't have to bend down that low. Okay? Um, the horses that I have with the wood on it, they're right there where you can roll a wheelchair up under it. Because I'm going to be just like my Auntie Lois. She grew and had a beautiful garden up until about 6 months before she died. That's the truth. So if you know you're getting up in age, take all of that into consideration when you're building a new garden bed or you're building a platform. Think about how low on the ground you've got your beds, and will you still be able to do that at 80? Okay? 52 and still feel 53. Stop, David Corey. Okay? I'm the 60 going on the 60 is the new 80. Now, where's that Jay-Z? So the 40 is the new 20 or whatever. Somebody say, you lying. Top peppers when you want more. Yes, David, I'm going to talk about that next week. Watch somebody do a video on it. Okay, question for Antia. Why do you, Antia is repeating somebody. Thank you, Antia. Why do you pinch it when it's small rather than larger? Talking about the tomato plants. Because you don't want tomatoes growing on this weak structure. You want it to be concentrated on all the roots in here. You don't want to worry about trying to get a real big tomato on a little flimsy plant. I don't need to say anything else because that's self-explanatory, the way I said it. You want to concentrate on growing vigorous roots, not tomatoes. You're going to get your tomatoes. The last of April, May, June is when I'm going to get all of my tomatoes. Okay? And until then, I just want them to grow. Big, leafy, like trees. Okay. Thank you, Miss Brenda. Can you plant sugarcane too deep? I'm not an expert on that. I don't consider myself an expert on anything. I just share what I know and learn through trial and error and through other people helping me, especially older people. I grew sugarcane twice just for my grandchildren to chew on it and learn where the majority of granulated sugar comes from. Then I showed them how it comes from corn syrup, how sweet corn is. The first hour that you pick it off of the stalk is the sweetest. The longest it's been on, the longer it's off on the stalk, the less sugar and natural carbohydrates it'll have. But I love to go pick that corn and let them taste it right away. And they go, oh, wow, that is sweet corn. Beets, I like to roast beets. Keep all the juices in there and then cut that and show them. So I only grew sugarcane a couple of times. That's something you're going to need to Google. Grow Family Network, Lead Farmer 73. And it could be some other people. Dan Permaculture Food Forest. I've seen them grow a lot of sugarcane. Okay? You can go back and replay this and get those names again. I only grew it 2 years. And I'm not going to grow anymore. I grew peanuts for 2 years. Virginia jumbo peanuts. Just to show my grandkids how peanut butter is made. They didn't know. Okay? So, hey, Don, I'm glad you did caught the live. You said he's lying. Who is that? David? He said he's lying. 50 is 50. I agree with you. 60 is the new 40 and all that stuff. They lying. Your body start breaking down. You can maintain yourself and your body by taking care of yourself. My mother was one of the most graceful people I ever knew. And I'm a lot like her. And I hope that doesn't sound like I'm bragging. But she taught me how to be a lady. And how to dress appropriate for my body type and my age. Because when I see these old ladies with these hoochie mama dresses on from the dollar store, and they have that seam in the back of that knit and it's stretch, I'm going like, wow, she is too old for that. I don't say nothing, and I try not to have a expression on my face, but inside I was going like, no, she didn't. But they do. And another thing I'm gonna tell you, I can't understand why sisters don't get mad at me. Why the little kids in the store with their mama looking real raggedy and she got eyelashes out to here and nails out to here. Now, don't get me wrong, I have no problem with that because I taught beauty school, managed beauty college. So I used to do all of that, but I didn't go real crazy with it. And then I see this great big imitation designer purse and she's sharp and the kids looking bad. Children are products and reflections of their parents. So when I see that, I just, Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I was giving you some life lesson. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go off on that. But everything I said, I meant, and it's true. Trinity 48, how you doing? She said, you are a teacher, Lady Cheryl. We totally understand you. We are grateful for you taking your time to share your wealth of knowledge. Oh, thank you. I really enjoy these chats with you guys. Somebody said they have an onion planted in a pot, has 3 sprouts coming out. Do I separate them? What did you put in the pot? Only separate what you put in it. And how big is the pot? So, that's an email question where you can send me a picture and answer all of that. Because there's a lot of factors go into that. Okay. You do so much. God bless you. Thank you. I didn't know about the corn. Yes. Mm-hmm. Get that corn right when it comes off. It's at its sweetest. Somebody told me to preach, Lady Cheryl. Must be talking about those ladies in those dresses. Oh, I'm just gonna say my late husband used to call them old hoochies. We'd get in the car and he'd say, "Did you see that old hoochie?" I said, "Yeah." And until you said when the eyelashes look like a big spider, my sister came here. Not this June, but the June before, because we had the pandemic. We didn't go on vacation. Well, we did a vacation in camping and stuff, but she flew from Indiana, stayed with me for a couple of weeks, and then we met a whole lot of other people, my siblings and cousins, in, what's that in Florida, y'all? Is that Disney World, Disneyland? Whichever one it was. We met there, and we got to the airport at DFW. She said, it was people working in the, it was either Whataburger or Wendy's. And she said, is that a prerequisite for everybody to work work in fast food to have those lashes? It was so funny. She said she'd never seen that many lashes. Okay, I work in a grocery store and I see that every day. So sad. I hear you. Disney World. Okay, thank you, Liz. That's where we went. And we saw the Passion of Christ. We didn't go to Disney World for all the rides and all that. We saw that play. We let all the young people go, with all that stuff. The young people in their 30s and 20s and 40s, but from 50 on up, we saw the Passion of Christ, and it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. It would make you cry. Don't want to get too. But it was a beautiful thing. You move from theater to theater, and then you see some historical sites they recreated. Then you see Act 2, Act 3, and then it ended with Jesus arising from the tomb. Those eyelashes look like spiders on your eyes. Yeah, my sister had me laughing, so I said, girl, be quiet. Because she was not talking in a low tone. My sister is very abrupt, and sometimes she doesn't practice tact. And she said it out loud, and I'm going like, girl, stop it. You're going to get me in trouble. Okay, let me see if I got another question. Okay, so I told you all what I'm going to be doing. Now, I call them Tweety Birds. Millicent. And Southern Red Sugar is in here too. And somebody else I saw, I meant to speak to, Sylvia. I hope I'm saying it right. Thank you. Okay. Now, I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover as far as the plants, the seeds that I'm growing. Oh, I want to show you about some of my products. Remember I told you guys this is the moisturizing hair milk. These products that I'm going to show you is what routine that my daughter does, and I put her on my Instagram and my YouTube. Remember I was talking to you all, and I said I take suggestions from the clients. Well, I got them in. I ordered 100 of these. So now when you order your hair milk again, you will get the spray. I probably won't ship it like this. I'll probably put this separate and do the zip, the cap on here so that, nothing will leak. Because, I shrink wrap it. But that's the spray that she uses on her natural curls every day, the hair milk. Shampoo, condition, then she parts it off and section her hair and oil the scalp with a hair growth promoter. Somebody asked me a question about if I have bald spots, will it grow the hair back? And I said no, because I have integrity. If you've had alopecia, whether it's areata or senilla, some women have male pattern baldness, or traction abuse from ripping out those quick weaves, or from a little girl, you put the rubber bands on so tight that you can see little bumps around the hairline. Well, what happens with that is you damage the mouth or the opening of your hair follicle where your hair comes out. And then what happens is it keloids. Okay? Like this right here I did out in the garden. Can you see that little black spot right there? Yeah, that's a keloid. So it'll never grow back. So I'm not going to answer your question and tell you, yes, it'll grow everything back. If you have a permanent scar tissue over your follicles, it's not coming back. But if you have thinning edges, thinning crown, it will thicken your hair up and it will grow your hair. Okay? And then after she puts that on, she uses the hair milk. And then she seals it by putting a little of the body butter. Body butter is for your total body, except you don't want to get into your eyes. And it's all good ingredients in there. Mango, avocado. Of course, it's got a lot of shea butter and shea oil and jojoba oil and grapeseed, black castor. There's a lot of good ingredients in the body butter. Now, during the week, that's her routine for shampooing the hair. During the week, she just mixed it with a little hair milk and put a little hair oil. And I want to tell you all something, and I hope you know I'm speaking from my heart. So a lot of people sell their hair oils and they put them in little 2-ounce bottles or 4-ounce bottles, and they don't have anything different that I have in here. And instead of selling you 8 ounces for $19.99, they'll sell it to you for $9.99 or $10.99. And I could do, let's just say if it's a 4-ounce, I could do 4. 4 ounce? No, 2 for the price. But usually they have them in a little bitty bottle, like 2 ounces. So I would get, can I do that right? 2 times 4 is 8, yeah. So I would have like 4 bottles out of what they sell for the same price. Okay? So I try to close out with showing you a little bit of the products that I grow, but my main platform for this YouTube channel is the gardening. And I hope we all have a great gardening season. And remember, you have to be prepared. Don't get frustrated and throw your hands up in the air because Mother Nature came down with a 3-degree temperature, okay, that we can barely see below 32 in this area. We just have to keep on keeping on. Just keep on trucking. And give the products, if you so desire, a try. And what I am happy about now, I'm at the point, I relaunched the line August 27th, I believe. And I used to have 150 products. So I had the candles and 6 cents and the shampoo conditioner on. But I started off with just my bestsellers when I came back, and because I stopped selling because I had to have surgery. I got real sick. The point I'm trying to make is now I'm coming into my groove with repeat customers. And so once you maintain a good repeat business, you'll be successful. For anybody out there that's thinking about starting any type of business, try to make it something that they will come back and use the product or whatever it is again. See, I've had a lot of businesses. I've had, when we lived in Mississippi, that's where my late husband was from, we had a pool hall and game room. Because everybody in that little town that we lived, when they grew up, they would go to the big city. They didn't have nothing to keep them entertained, so we did that. And I had a beauty salon there as well. And then I moved to Dallas and I went back to school and I got my instructor's license. And I started working in beauty salons, and then as a instructor, as an educator, and then as a beauty school director. And then in 1992, I opened up the first black business in a shopping mall in Mesquite, Texas. They have torn it down, but it wasn't in a slum area. When I say they tore it down because it was the first mall built in 1955 in the state of Texas. So a lot of the plumbing, electrical and stuff was obsolete. And then they had the fancier malls that popped up around the area. But I was there for 10 years, okay? And now I have a test salon in my home, and I just do a few people. They're like my family, okay? I don't charge them anything, but they give me a tip, okay? And so I've accumulated a lot of experience with having a business. I've done a lot of things. So we were out in Big Town Mall a year, and the suite next door became available. And at that time, my daughter was 15, my oldest son was 13, and my baby was, no, he was 12, and they're all 3 years apart, and my baby was 9. And we opened up a business next door so that the kids could be there with me while my husband was at work. He worked for a chemical manufacturer. Not products like acetone, alcohol, peroxide, that type of stuff. Industrial stuff. And so we had like a gift store. We had balloons. We tried to do flowers. I mean, we did everything. So I've been blessed to know, how can I put it, that you have to have a repeat clientele. You don't want to sell a person a product one time and then they never come back to you. So those of you that are interested, maybe I'll do a YouTube live on just that. Email me if you are interested, and I will do something just for those people that are interested. I'm willing to share anything that I have learned. A lot of people helped me along the way, and that's what we need to do, help other people. And a lot of people have started businesses during the pandemic, okay? Because they couldn't work overtime in the other job, or maybe another part-time job fizzled out. So a lot of people started their business, and it was my son who inspired me. I'm getting ready to say something. I hope you don't get mad, because he does watch my lives, but he had surgery today on his knee. And I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want to give out his personal business. But keep him, please, in your prayers for recovery. Okay. Because he said, why don't you tell people about my business? Because some people at my school might be watching that, or the girls on my team that he coached, blah, blah, blah. And I don't want him to be mad at me. But we all need prayer. So, Tia and Best Yet, do any of your products work on locks? Yes, ma'am. I'll put a picture. If you email me, I'll send you a picture of my locks down my back. I got tired of them and cut them off. And yes, and Best Yet can tell you, you can use the oil and you can use the hair milk on your locks. Because it's natural. You don't have any paraffins. You don't have any wax. You don't have any quartz, coronary ammonium compounds in the shea butters and the body butter. So it all will penetrate. You don't have nothing that's going to build up on the outside of your hair and make you look like it's, coated with a lot of nasty stuff and it needs to be shampooed. Okay? That's Queenie's Playroom. I use the milk to moisturize my locks. And you're going to like it with the spray on it now, Queenie. Yes, 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 yes. Somebody said that Southern brown sugar to make essential oils. That's all I use in my products. I don't use any artificial ingredients, no preservatives. I don't use any fragrance oils. I use my special combination of hibiscus oil is very expensive. Like a fourth of an ounce is like $25. And I use lavender and lemongrass. That's my signature scent called Peace. And I have a candle in it. This has the Peace scent. This has the Peace scent. And the butter, body butter, that you can use on your hair or your body, has the Peace scent. The only thing that doesn't have the Peace scent is the hair growth promoter, because it has a lot of Indian hemp. Okay? All right. A lot of oils that have their own scent. But it's not unpleasant. Okay. Somebody said get a dehydrator. Who you talking to, David? Because you must didn't see my first or second live when I brought out all of my herbs that I dehydrate. I have the Excalibur 9 tray, top of the line dehydrator. I bought all of my stuff before I retired because I knew my income was going to change drastically. So I bought a lot of extra stuff that I would be using. And this is the time of the year that a lot of people dehydrate stuff like, but they don't grow their own. Like kale chips, zucchini, squash chips, barbecue potatoes chips, or, you know, because it's too hot to do all of that. Thank you, Lorraine. It's too hot to do all that down here. Melanated Butterfly, beautiful name. I didn't see you in. Okay, a lot of new gardeners here tonight. Lady Cheryl loves and appreciate all of us, and thank you for coming. Oh, best yet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, guys, if there aren't any questions, I'm going to wait once, twice, 3 times. Orange seasoning, love kale chips. Oh, I love kale chips. It's hard for me to grow lavender too, Southern Red Sugar. And you have to use so much to make essential oil. Now, best yet, and I have from Roots and Branches the steamer. And you can use it as a distilling too. You gotta have a lot of herbs to make essential oils. And that's why it costs so much. But you will have enough for it to make for yourself. Okay? All right. Okay, did you fertilize your peanuts? I'm trying them for the first season. If I did, it was anything organic. If I did, it was worm cast. I can't remember. Worm castings, comfrey tea. I've always been organic. Comfrey tea. I don't think it needed any fish fertilizer. I don't think it needed nitrogen. I think peanuts put nitrogen in the soil. Okay. 1 onion, 3 growing sprouts. Do I separate? Oh, we already talked about that. Oh, somebody said something about slips. She said, what does she use on her hair when it's extremely curly? I don't like that other word, Deborah. This is a detangler and softener, and seal it in with your creamy body butter. Okay? And you guys know that oil, natural oils, essential oils are moisture installers. I'm just going to say it like that. Commodores. Who is that, David? Corey. Commodores. Okay, well, that's it. Denise, Backyard Gardening, thank you for being here. And anybody else that I didn't call out your name. 2%, Don Critchlow. You asked the question about the Uh, I'm glad you asked this question. Do you have any oils for the beard? The this, the moisturizing hair milk. My son is a licensed barber, businessman, barbershop owner. He has commissioned me to do a line for him for just the oil, the butter, and the hair milk. He used this on all of his clients. And the name of their shop is Kingsman Barbershop. They opened up about 6 or 7 years ago in a brand new building. I'm very, very proud of him. Name of the country, Russian Blocking 14. Russian Blocking 14 or Blocking 14 Russian. Just make sure all those names are there. And you'll get a little rhinestone. And where I got the best deal was eBay. Okay, so I think that's it. Do you have anything for itchy scalp, dirt in hands you want to use? I don't like to open up things because it has a tamper-resistant lid on it. You need the hair growth promoter. I guarantee you it works. I guarantee you. This is something I formulated in 1992, and I only made it get better and better and better. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I hope you're ordering it out. Anybody that orders 3 products by 12 o'clock tomorrow, midnight, I'm going to give you a free hand sanitizer. I hope the people watch this in the replay. If you order 3 products, you'll get a free hand sanitizer. And guess what's in the hand sanitizer? The peach fragrance, vitamin E, and aloe vera. So you don't have because we've been sanitizing with this virus, this pandemic so much that, it was really robbing my skin. So it works for me. Only time it doesn't work for me is when I have my hand in dirt for a whole lot. Long period of time I'm potting up. And then I'm going to put some in the greenhouse. You are so sweet. You have a happy spirit. Thank you for sharing your knowledge on gardening, hair, and life in general. Praying for a great recovery for yourself. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Hands in dirt. I hope you try that hair growth promoter. You're going to love it. All right. If there aren't any more questions, I'm going to say Barb Brownlee said it worked for me. The hair growth promoter for my dry, itchy scalp. Yes, she did. And I think I put it on my website. Beth Cheryl, are you here? Can you put the website on for me, LadyCherylsNaturalProducts.com, so people can see it in the replay? Okay, thank you, Velvet Bell, for being here. And Tia's asking everybody to hit the like button. It really does help as far as supporting the channel. C. Thomas, you are welcome. Hope you have success. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm asking for Beth Shannon. I hope she didn't leave to put the. Let me see if I can try it again. I don't think I can. It won't let me. Oh, well, I can't do it. But you can email me. That address is in there. Good night, everybody. God bless you all. You guys know I love you. Oh, she's got it on there. Lady Cheryl's Natural Products at Gmail. And my web address is LadyCherylsProducts.com. Cheryl's without apostrophe. LadyCherylsProducts.com. Thank you all very much. I don't want to knock these plants over. Bye-bye.